Okay, I've had Wesley read already. I've had Mingze read already. I've had, who else have I had yesterday read? Sophia, you haven't read, right? Okay, wait, sorry. Just give me a second. I want to see the chat. I want to see what's going on for the chat. Yeah, 1 second. Okay, so we will get Sophia. I just want to avoid spelling wrong. Okay, second student, we will have Faliha. Sorry, double A, right? Faliha. Okay, Sharon. And who else did I not have yesterday? Anybody else? Okay, Aye, is that how I pronounce your name? I'm just gonna write down your full name, okay? Because I am not sure, so maybe you can guide me on how to pronounce your name later. Okay, now same thing as yesterday, I will flash out 2 minutes for each page. Okay, so you take a look at it, look at where you need to practice, all right? And we will have you read after that, all right? 2 minutes starting now. Students who would like to rename yourselves, right? Can you please do so in the next 5 to 10 minutes? Because I will disable that function after 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so rename yourselves to the name that you would like to be addressed as, okay? Okay, here that's my like ice cream bell. Okay, next slide. 2 minutes, all right, starting now. May I remind students who is turning on their web cameras to be mindful of your sitting position, your standing position. You do not want to expose any part of yourself that should not be exposed. Okay, so take note once you turn on your web cameras, please guard your own privacy, your own security, so to speak, that way. Okay, because just now I think someone just turned on the camera and it happened to flash by something not so pleasant. So please take note of that. All right, students, I cannot emphasize your own privacy is very important. Okay, so please take note of that. All right. My ice cream bell is done. I love this ringtone. It's a bit annoying, but yeah. All right. Okay. For those students who have been tasked to read, right, could you just please unmute yourselves, right? Sophia, we'll start with you. Okay. And let me just take note. Let me just remind you, sorry, right? I will take note of your reading, but I'm focusing on a few things, right? As I've mentioned to you yesterday, what am I focusing on, students? We're looking at pace. Sorry, let me just go back to the previous slide. Yeah. I'm looking at pace. Okay. I'm looking at intonation. And I'm looking at your ability to connect to the context. Identify / connect with context of the passage. So you need to understand what you're reading basically. You just read because it's text. And I asked you to read. All right. Okay, Sophia, ready? That's good, yeah?
Let's write emails to each other every week, Henry suggested to James. It was Henry's last day in school. His father had accepted a job overseas in Italy. The whole family had to move there.
Okay, excellent when it comes to pace, right? I love your intonation for the first sentence, right? Let's write emails to each other. Even if you're not excited, you have acted like you're excited. Well done. Okay. And you obviously understand the context of the passage, right? So that's great. Keep it up. This is something we're looking out for, something a bit more upbeat when the passage is, of course, upbeat, right? If it's a sad, relatively sadder passage, let's not try to be too cheerful. It doesn't suit the context. Okay, so good job, Sophia. Keep it up. All right, we're looking at Faliha next. Faliha, dear, can you just unmute yourself, please? Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, can. Very good, very good. Okay,
It
are you
was
ready? Yeah. No. Maybe you can start with when Henry first heard the news, right? Where I drew the brackets.
okay. When Henry first heard the news, he could hardly imagine what it would be like living in a foreign country, away from his friends and relatives. He felt upset that he would no longer be able to spend time with them regularly.
Okay, good job with your pace for sure. Intonation, I like how you emphasize the word he felt upset. Obviously, this is an emotion for us to focus on, right? So I love that you sort of emphasize that little part there, which is great. Okay, and you obviously showed that you identified the context of the passage, which is good. Keep it up. All right, okay, we will have Sharon next. Could you just unmute yourself, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can, thanks for checking, yeah.
I promise you that you will love your new life there. Italy has a rich culture and delicious food too. Besides, you can keep in touch with your friends here easily, his father had assured him.
Okay, good. Okay,
Henry
obviously.
decided to be optimistic about the move.
Sorry, I missed that out. Yes, you're right to read that one sentence. Okay, good job with the pace, right? Also, you have put in a dialogue within a reading passage rather, right? Not that a dialogue within a dialogue. I was going to say that, but no, you have managed to put in a dialogue which is more of a narration as well, right? It's not got anything exciting. It's not got anything to do with any expressive emotion. So I think that's great. Okay, so keep up with the good work. Okay, but perhaps when you are reading this sentence, the second one actually, right? Besides, you can keep in touch with your friends here easily, right? Perhaps assurance you could slow down a little bit when it comes to pace. Okay, other than that, I think you were great. Okay, thank you very much, Sharon. Next one, I'm struggling with the pronunciation of the name, right? I appear, is that how it's pronounced? Maybe you could help me. Hi. Yes.
Hi, it's actually pronounced as APA.
AP, is it?
Yes.
All right, I'm so sorry, dear. Thank you for educating me on that. I apologize for the mispronunciation. Okay, shall we maybe start reading?
Okay.
Okay.
He would miss his friends, especially James. his best friend of 5 years. He had known James since they were 7. They had bonded over their similar interest of drawing action hero characters. They had even planned to go to the same secondary school after they had graduated from primary school. Unfortunately, that was no longer possible now.
All right, that's a very good pace. Okay, slight stumbling, but it's fine, right? Let's just try to avoid that, of course, if we, could practice before that, right? Intonation was great, right? Identification to context was good. Okay, I like how you, as well as I think it was Faliha, right, emphasized on certain parts of the paragraph when you were reading because you wanted to, sort of show that there was this sort of either like really a bond. I think they had bonded over, that's how you read, right? So that slowing down created the emphasis, which is great. Okay, emphasis on certain parts of the story of the passage, right, is great. And I would like to, for students, right, you could attempt that, right? But remember, do not emphasize everything, because if you emphasize everything, what are you emphasizing, right? Okay, so just take note of that. Okay, that is a very good habit to have. All right, thank you very much for all of you, right, for reading that out for me. Right, okay, so for today, okay, we are going through 2 oral, 2 stimulus based, right? 2 oral reading aloud, 2 stimulus based, right? Okay, remember our structure for stimulus based is Oreo. Opinion, reason, explain by giving an example, and of course your overall, your stand, and you repeat and you link it to the question itself. Okay, so this would be our practice for today. Okay, and I'm just going to go through the questions quickly. So you think about the questions for 2 minutes, right, before we start brainstorming our answers. Experiences, right, will be good, okay, especially if you have an experience, okay, with regard to that question, to answer that question. But let's say you do not, what happens then? So for example, you just use this example, right? So which of these activities would you do? So let's say, you're a dancer or something and you don't like any of these. So what will happen is that if you do not answer this question directly, right, give an alternative. So out of these 4 activities, I am not a fan of any of them, but I think that I would like to do this the most. So for example, if before you can even go to your dancing, I would like to do reading the most, because I feel that, when I'm very stressed at school and I need certain quiet moments, reading is the best time for me to, gather my thoughts and be in touch with my artistic side. So for example, right? But if you really strongly, vehemently feel that you are not interested in any of these 4 activities, what will happen is you can suggest something else. So out of these 4 activities, honestly, I'm not a fan of any, but if I could choose, I would like to do dancing, for example. But if you could just pick one from here, it makes life a lot easier. Right? Okay, so share your experiences either for or against. If you don't have any experience, give your own private example, your own personal example, right? Other than what is provided. Always make sure whatever you are suggesting ties in with the question, an activity that you want to do with your good friends, right? Do not give an activity that you want to do on your own, because that's completely out of point. Understand so far? Okay, now I will just give you a quick, let's see, please mute yourselves. I hear bad things in the background. I'm just going to give you 3 minutes to think of the answers. All right, and then we're going to go through briefly. I'm going to select 3 people to just briefly discuss with me your answers, okay? Your 3 minutes starts now.